You know what we actually haven't done in quite a while, guys? We actually haven't done Warring Islands or Archipelago. Archipelago. See, I know how to pronounce it. Archipelicans hasn't been done either. We just haven't had a map that is basically water, right? And some of you are turned off already, but come on, guys. It's been so long. It could be exciting. This game goes on for a while, so it's not a stompy affair done in 10 minutes max. So something interesting. There's going to be a twist, especially when I saw the two civs involved. We're going to have China versus Mongols, and it has got a familiar face and a new one. Let me present them to you now. As we have got Leenok playing with China. You should have known. All right. If there's anyone that's going to play China on basically any map, probably Leenok. Has to be his most played civ at this point. Very experienced player. For those that aren't familiar with Leenok, he is a highly decorated StarCraft player. I believe he was the one that owned $250,000, I want to say. Yes, $291,000 in total. Leenok is, I think, top 40 StarCraft 2 Koreans in the world, and that is quite the badge of honor to wear. I know what you're thinking, oh, like top 30, top 40? Yes, but Korea is also dominant as hell in StarCraft community, so it's a respectable number. And currently, in this game, he's ranked 25th on the leaderboards. 1,829 elo after 714 games played. And his opponent in the red, good old Sleep Cannon over here. I've seen his name creeping around a little bit, but now he's starting to stabilize. 130 games played, up in 66th place with 1,734. 62% win rate, so still on the rise. So we've got a future competitor on the way up here. Probably in a Smurf belonged to someone. There's a high chance of that. I couldn't find the details of who it belonged to. When I did check on the Steam profile side of things, it was an account with no details, level 0, so it's definitely a Smurf. The owner is registered as Taiwan. I know you can kind of fake that easily, but if that is correct for the area, it could end up being someone like Demon Sheep comes to mind, right? I'm thinking of these players like playing around that area. In fact, I'm pretty sure Demon Sheep is, yes, Taiwanese. So that would be my guess if I had to throw a curveball out there. But anyway, Sleep Cannon, whoever he is going to be manning Mongols, and Mongols can fare pretty damn well on Warring Islands. I think they're a very underrated civ in the past, but people have started to wake up to just how powerful this civ can be, courtesy of how broken the light junks into war junks can feel. The problem he's going to have in this matchup is he might actually have his number clocked. Leenok is playing China. It's the other civ that gets access to the junks. And although they get junks instead of light junks, right, so they don't have the drive-by potential, they have to focus fire, what they do get is access to war junks as well. And the big difference maker in that situation then becomes the fact that the Chinese docks work 20% quicker. It can give you an edge against the Mongols, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out in this one. I think Leenok can afford to play this game a lot deeper than the Mongol player can. Sleep Cannon is going to have a lot of value in the mid-game in Castle, courtesy of the power of step readout. I do just think that the way that China can scale into farming economy of land and the power to replace their ships quicker could very easily give Leenok the edge here. And that's before we even talk about early scaling, right? Early scaling, you're going to do better than the Mongol player. The Mongol player to begin with isn't really going to have much to boost him up. Meanwhile, for China, with the Imperial officials, you can boost the food drop-off, the wood drop-off, and most important, the wood drop-off on this map, right? You're not going to do it for food, but also gold. So although it's not the full 50% increase that you get, which is crazy, right, for the step readout at Castle Age, you get it earlier, and it is going to be a 20% increase for China. And that's before you even equate things such as taxing into the equation, where you're just getting extra gold trickling out courtesy of that variable. Opening of stables coming out from Sleep Cannon, by the way. Interesting choice here. He's going to be playing into Pro Scouts, I think. Actually, no. This isn't Pro Scouts at all. This is something. Yeah, there. Okay, now I'm on board. I was about to say, there's no way he's doing Pro Scouts. It just doesn't make sense here. It's too costly of an investment for this map. Instead, he's grabbing the scouts. He's utilizing the stone value early on to grab scouts, garrison a transport ship with a single villager, and he's going to try to outpost rush Leenok. This is cool. If it works. Like most things in life, guys, history is going to be written by the victor. Let's see if he can get victory here. So he's going to grab the Khan as well. Doesn't really need him for anything else. Is he not taking the villager? This is a missed trick. I think his plan is to try and burn down the dock, right? He's trying to actually pressure, get rid of the dock before both of them reach into feudal and they start producing military units. Cool idea, but I think Leenok can still counter it quick enough. Scouts don't really hurt that much, and you can easily rush build an outpost. Like, this is probably the worst civ to attempt this against without a villager. There we go. Okay, thank you. I was getting really worried. So the reason it's bad to do this against China is you have to remember China have an increased build speed. So if they see you do this maneuver, with just a few villages, they'll very quickly build up an outpost, and after that, your move is completely irrelevant. You can't get the dock, you can't do anything. This instead allows you to drop an outpost while raiding quickly, and then you maybe have a defensive foothold against the pressure your opponent's going to throw out. And then, worst case scenario, you bank all these scouts inside the outpost, you start sniping out fishing boats, of which there are too many here to protect, with 9 being here, and only room for 3 to garrison inside the dock. And here you go. Leenok's going to see it now. Just as he gets the resources for a tech up as well. He's dropping the barb with his son, but it's too late. Oh my god, this is worst case scenario. Backs away. They're trying to attack onto the villies. Outpost being built in the meantime. He's committing so many people to build this up. He might lose a few villagers for it. If he animation cancels, Sleep Cannon can do a lot of damage. He needs to be quick with the animation canceling though. Some strikes out. This Barbican is building quick. It's going to cost maybe 3 villagers for Leenok to get this done. He invests a lot of people as well. Look how many. It's actually 11 working on this. 3 of them almost dead already as well. The outpost being ignored as it's built. It's going to be cancelled in the end by Sleep Cannon. And it looks like he's going to back away. He looks to garrison and get out of here. And the Villi will be able to climb in. So, failed attempt in the end. Got rid of one of the villagers. Not able to do anything else, though. And he will back away. I don't think he's going to fully leave, though. He might try to sneak on the north side. The problem is this generation isn't going to be favorable. He needs to scout out and realize this. But there's not much exposed yet. If he can get right around the back, he could hit the gold line, and that could be big. But for the moment, looks like junks are already coming out for Leenok. So not able to pressure him as best he could. And also, Sleep Cannon, he's only now beginning to build the Deer Stone. So he's going to be behind on the waterfront. So he has to find value. And that's why he begins the outpost crawl. This outpost crawl feels wrong, though. I don't like the way Cannon's done this. I think he just needs to check around the back and realize there's a way around the back. This will at least be useful later, logically, like he can prevent him getting this gold vein, but you need to deal with the primary gold vein. You need to force your opponent to make bad investments. That's the value of the outpost crawl. It's a 70 wood investment to deny an area. And if you think about it that way, it's like, oh, if you prevent this mining camp from being accessible, they already wasted 50 wood on this. Eventually, you'll be able to burn it down as well. But more importantly, they have to go build that unit somewhere else. And also, they're going to lose efficiency when all these villagers have to run to a different gold vein. It's all these small knock-on effects that make the outpost crawl so dangerous and powerful from the Mongols. But not when you use it like this. This is just a misplay, in my opinion. And here we go. Actually investing in horsemen as well. Wow, Cannon is all in on this. This is really cool to see. We just don't actually ever get to witness this with the Mongols, right? With any Civ. I think in the early days of release, we saw some people trying to drop bases on their opponent's island, but since then, it's always just become this very boring and tedious game of me build Hulk, me smash on water, and that's about it. And outpost already being built, so missed opportunity. He won't be able to sneak in. This outpost crawl was wrong. If he'd done it the other way around, he'd be in position already, but he fails. And now he can't even get close enough. I think Sleep Cannon missed the trick here. And he's doubled down on it now, so it starts to feel really bad. Barbican actually chokes you out from reaching this. And also, even if you now push him off of this gold vein, if you've done it earlier, it feels like it has some value. But now he just fall back to this gold vein right next to the Barbican. And it looks like he's going to get you off his island sooner than that. He's building the racks right now. And the important detail of this is that he hasn't exposed any small eco buildings that you could burn to make some of your investment back, right? Where you get the 50 food and 50 gold. Instead, this is just pure crap from Cannon. Oh, wow. Wow, the sneak in, actually. Leenok, he got around the back. He snipes out the villager building the secondary dock, and he forces his opponent away. He only has a transport ship still. He needed to get... Where are the light junks? He needed to get light junks out sooner. Big mistake, and now Leenok is punishing him. I don't like this part, though. You shouldn't be engaging with the light junk. Just snipe out as many of these fishing boats as you can. An outpost actually punishing him on the other side as well. A lot of damage being done. Look at it. What? It's actually insane. I don't know if this is intended or bugged, right? This feels bugged to me. No. There you go. 25 damage extra to ships. I think it's an easily, like, glazed over detail. It feels absurdly strong. Sometimes it feels like you're doing more than 35, to be honest. That's why I thought it was bugged. It looked like he was doing 50. But as you can see, with these outposts, an extra 25 damage. This is why the counter for Delhi fishing boat rushes on the river islands is actually Mongols. You just don't play onto the water yourself as Mongols. Instead, you just crawl outposts. Outposts that will later be very useful for the Yam movement speed. However, on the water maps, less so, like the committed water maps. On river island type map, or river maps, definitely. On island maps, no. Because although you have this outpost network, the Yam movement speed is useless, right? Unless you're doing it on your opponent's island. There we go. Garrison's in, trying to get through the outpost. But what happens next? What we talked about. Move under that gold vein, you're safe again. Moves in with the scouts. Trying to get through the Villi. And the Spearmen are going to move across to punish this. So, not a good situation to be in. Cannon, you're pressuring, but not to the degree you want to for your investment, right? This is a lot of wood so far. 280 wood. These Spearmen are going to chase out onto the Villis. Buys time for their outpost to go up, and they're going to be able to hold this now. So now, if you're Leenok, you can just kind of focus on scaling your military force on the sea, and then come back to this later to get rid of the nuisance at the back, right, when you need the gold later. Don't wait too long, though. You don't want to be in a situation where you run out of gold, and then you have to waste a minute where you can't get extra stuff. Cannon, it's going to take a long time to get to these outposts. Keep in mind that Leenok can repair them quickly as well. Overall, this feels like the play has reached its maximum potential. I don't think you can keep investing anymore. Oh, the scout's baiting him in as well. Whoop. Shots out, not good enough. Outpost is going to be cancelled. Needs to be careful. He realizes now that's too close to the sea. But Leenok, this is one detail that's a bit silly. He's ignoring this. He's not pressuring it further. And he did lose the junk ships he had back in his opponent's base. And now with 2 light junks forward, there's going to be some serious damage done to his economy on the water. Man, Cannon's whiffing so many here. He's in a really hard position here. He's trying to complete the encapsulation. The problem is he's in a hard point between the outpost influence and then the sea influence, right? The only good thing is right now Leenok hasn't noticed this. The bad thing, however, is Cannon hasn't prevented Leenok from breaking out. Notice he's dropped docks on the southern side of his island. This is not going to be spotted either. Cannon is full focused on the west side, right? So he's going to rebuild his economy safely over here, and then he's going to actually be able to scale out a bigger fleet, courtesy of the fact that he has more docks than the Mongol player here. Now his junk's moving out. I think he did get the sails as well. That's the other knock-on effect. When you get this many, look what you're able to do. He castles up. He can now also get access to the extra hammocks, and then he annihilates his opponent. But I don't think he even cares about that. Instead, it's going to be war junks. He's already queued up 2. And I don't like this right now for Sleep Cannon. Sleep Cannon, he hasn't got enough gold still. He's lagging behind again. This is the worst case scenario. At this point in the game, you cannot be falling behind China. Not with this attempt at aggression. This investment, by the way, is what put him behind. Really, did it stop Leenok? I'd say no. Really didn't. You forced him to invest 200 wood. You, in the meantime, had to invest, what, 240? Make that 310, and then you brought 2 villages across, one of which has been lost. Not to mention the investment into scouts and horsemen. Yes, some of that is offset by using stone instead, but it's still out of your economy. It's still actually slowing down your tech-up timings, and you really haven't slowed down Leenok. War junks are on the move into the crossing. Goes through the strait. Will be here before Cannon's able to defend himself. Remember, he still hasn't teched up. He's begun to get underway with the step readout, but he's not ready. And it means he might lose 1 dock before he even gets the junks out. And that's why he's building more. Now, the big play that Cannon is failing to do right now is he needs to be using the Falcon. If he uses the Falcon, he'd snipe out a lot of these workers, and then it's a good play. I think he hasn't really fully tapped into the Mongols, though. Like, so many players seem to just forget about this. The Falcon, for those that aren't aware, as you can see there, gives vision on an area for 30 seconds. He would kill, with the initial like flurry of arrows and the garrisoning, he would probably kill 4 or 5 of these workers before Leenok realizes what hits him. And at that stage, you scale past your opponent. But missed opportunity. War junk coming out, and they're going to defend. He actually pulled them back. The second wave, he pulled back to deal with the light junks. He's already got 2 over here, though. The war junks are going to do a lot of damage. Tech up is complete. Build his own war junks now. And if you cycle this and prioritize your targets, you can get rid of one of these docks before it pushes one out. And he's already moving through the reinforcements, right? So it's going to be 5 war junks up against the 2. Because remember, although these ships do move somewhat slow, it takes a long time to produce war junks at 45 seconds. Did he use the... No, he never actually used the hawk at all. So Leenok gets away. He actually gets away with it. He should have been punished by this. Wasn't at all. Really big mistake out of Cannon. Huge opportunity missed here. And now he's going to be forced off of the water quickly if he's not careful. Well, initial war junks are going to be completed. It looks like there's a prioritization to sink all the existing ships first by Leenok. His fleet is almost here. War junks now coming out. They're not shooting yet, though. No cycling by either side. If you cycled here, Cannon could have an advantage, because remember, a lot of these docks would draw fire. However, he's just outnumbered. He's going to lose one of these junks already. Sinks one. But now that they're grouped, they're a problem. Fishing boat slowly but surely being sunk. We can see the boom ships finally starting to be built. Focus fire down. Leenok's going to get through one here. He needs to cycle. He just needs to dance on the spot. If he dances, he'll get through the docks quickly. Instead, just kind of attack. Like, it finally switches around there. You can see the value now. So quick to just sink them here. And it's going to be very hard for the boom ships to get close enough because Leenok has the range, right? These war junks up at 6.5 tower range. Goes across. Boom ship comes out, though. Tries to pull away. He's going to skirt it. Dodges out the damage. Nicely done. Does not get hit at all and gets rid of another war junk. The fishing boats, trying to use them as bait, buy a little bit more time, but one of these docks is already on fire. Cannon needs more dock lines. He needs more ways onto the waterfront, but right now he's losing his only way on. Well, boom ship's wasted. He's not quick to control him. He's looking elsewhere. He's trying to focus on what's happening over here, looking for value, but it's too late, Cannon. You missed your opportunity, and now it feels like you're being hit by a cannon. Leenok will lose another one in the war junks. Got a little bit too close to the outpost. Boom ships are going to come out, but they died too fast. 2 hits from the war junks is all it takes. Remember, 120 damage is way too much, even with a little bit of resistance. And you can see how much the outposts do hurt. He's losing the war junks quickly. He needs to respect the damage, but gets rid of the dock anyway. And now he can move down and get rid of the final one. And it looks like there's going to be a build-up on the north, so Cannon trying to get back on the waterfront, but Leenok should be wise to this. If he scouts down the south and sees no more docks, your opponent has to be on the north. Because when you're playing Warring Islands, there's no way you're not trying to get onto the water constantly. If you aren't, you're losing the game. And right now, Cannon's definitely doing that, because even if he gets back on the waterfront, he lost the fishing economy, right? So if you look at the income per minute now, it's a ridiculous difference right now. Cannon barely getting any food. Needs to transition somewhere, but where's it going to be, right? Because that's the danger. That's the danger of losing waterfront control when you're Mongols, is on this map, especially on a war-specific map. You don't really have other options. You're not likely to play in the Pro Scouts. You didn't have many sheep to gather, and you haven't built pastures, right? So you have no switch over onto land. You can't sustain yourself there, and it puts Cannon in a very dangerous situation in this game. There we go. Finally, scout vision, guys. This is how you make this play. This is where it gets scary. Sniping quite a few villages here. And now Leenok has to address this back in his base. He can't allow this to keep happening. He's going to have to resort to straggler trees in the meantime, but he needs some military force. There it is. Double ram pushing in. And once this is gone, he'll have full access again. And it looks like he's choking out the north as well. There's not enough of these war junks here, though. I don't like that he only brought out 2. It's a 2-on-2, which means you could easily lose out here. In fact, you are. One of yours is already about to be sunk. Leenok, that's the one weakness here. Remember, the war junks are incredibly slow. 1.15, even with the sales upgrade. And he never went for this. I'm kind of surprised, actually. The extra ballista would have been pretty nice here. Gives you a nice edge. Neither player went for it, in fact. I feel like I don't see this enough either. A lot of the times, piracy does get ignored by Mongol players. They just want to spam as much as possible. On Warring Islands, like, piracy is amazing, right? 50 wood and 50 gold sinking each ship. That does include fishing boats, by the way, which is where it can get insane. Pretty sure it still affects it. Unless they changed it. It says an enemy ship, so it should still categorize correctly. Leenok, no, Leenok. He's not microing them right now. He finally wakes up. But now the numbers are not with him. Loses 1. Home field repairs coming out in favor of Cannon as well. And there's already injuries on Leenok's line here. He maybe sinks another. Actually getting an edge here because he's cycling. Once again, Cannon missing a trick. Such a vital early phases in the game discovered trick, in fact, that he's not engaging with. Big mistake. Loses a second one here when he could actually sunk all these war junks and kept free up himself. But it will at least push Leenok back for the moment. As remember, his main dock line is on the southeastern side. So, not really utilizing the central dock at all at this point. But Leenok is up into the Imperial Age, remember, and this is where things get dangerous. The Bao Xuans are incredibly tanky. They can actually suck in a lot of shots and can buy time for the war junks to win you a fight. And if you look, Leenok is not anywhere near ready. Oh, sorry, Cannon rather, is not anywhere near ready for a tech up himself. And there we go, back on the wood. So Leenok will start to scale up again. Remember, he was being prevented from gathering at a great rate because of these outpost placements, but most of them are being brought down now. And he can just move them across to deal with the remainder. Meanwhile, engagement. Sinking another one. This is the worst case scenario what Cannon done. He got too close to Leenok, so Leenok's shooting out both sides, right? He's firing all cylinders, so he's getting double the firepower, evening up the fight. You've really got to engage with this right now. I know it seems cheesy, I know it seems stupid, but if you are playing any C scenario and you're using Hulks, War Junks, whatever, you need to cycle. You need to turn. You need to dance, as I like to call it, because you get double the amount of fire out. And secondary TC now from Cannon. Cannon looking, well, not Cannon, sorry, Leenok. Leenok looking at the scale more. So 54 compared to 61. Cannon, did he rebuild the fishing? Yeah, he rebuilt on the fishing. Fishing's still very strong right now for Leenok, but look what snuck in, the War Junk. Whoopsie. And he's actually building the Baochuans. He didn't replace the War Junks first, though. Baochuans are incredibly tanky, remember. They do cost a lot at 480 wood and 480 gold, but they do come with a health pool of 2,000. And that's one of the big reasons to build them. I like them over Carracks for that reason. And look at this, though. Cannon. He sneaks in on land again. With the Lancers now in onto the eco lines, Leenok, at least he has this secondary TC to rebuild this, but his spears are out of position, and he's going to be punished a lot for this. And here's the Baochuans. Look at that damage! So many shots. Here we go. One strike into the War Junks. Strike! All right, it's going to be a spare. But yeah, this is bowling, right? You send 2 loads of balls down and you sink them. However, he hasn't moved the Baochuan yet. That's the one weakness. They are very slow, 0.86 movement speed. This is a fort on water. But look at the damage. And you're not ready to match this yet. You can get Baochuans of your own, but you need the money. You need the moolah to get the tech up, but you just don't have it. And it means that one Baochuan is going to repel you. They are amazing defensive units, and we're seeing it right here. Second one comes out. And look at the damage. He can cycle this, remember. For those wondering the way the spinning works, you don't even have to attack move. You can just spin. If you want to make sure you quickly hit the right target, you want to actually try and click as you turn. But it can be a bit dicey. Baochuan, you can actually just tank the shot. Watch the damage. Oh no, not half my health for your maximum hit. I don't care. Really need some War Junks now, though. Getting for the demo ships isn't bad. I want to see 3 or 4 War Junks, or maybe even some Junks just to support this so you never get boomed. Because the Baochuans will just keep sinking War Junks. They're ridiculously valuable. Like I said, compared to the Carracks, this is God tier unit. And this is why Mongols have been looking so dominant and why China will look dominant in the future. However, he needs to be careful. Boom ships coming in. Leenok, this is not the way to do it. The greed. Cannon hasn't noticed yet. He'll turn around now, though. They're so speedy at 1.72. And that won't sink it, but it'll bring it close. 98 health now. And look at the damage the docks they'll do. They hit so hard. Remember, most of their damage comes from the bones of the buildings, but 84 per shot. So many cannons firing off. It's just absurd. Oh, well, this one will be falling. Almost sinks a War Junk, but does go down. Baochuan is snuck in, though. Finds the eco line again where the docks are at. And I think Leenok's mistake here is he's not supporting this. He hasn't got a supporting cast of War Junks or even just normal Junks. And it is costing him so much. They're not cheap, remember. They take a long time to produce at 49 seconds. And they cost 480 wood and 480 gold. And remember, that is 49 seconds with the reduction, right? Usually it requires a whole minute to build these warships. And mistake again, Leenok. This is so sloppy from him. Yeah, look at that cost efficiency, right? You got the dock in the end. We'll just rebuild it. And explosive junks, 160 wood, 80 gold each. Compared to the 400. I'll just repeat that. 480 gold, 480 wood cost of the Baochuans. And although you can afford it for the time being, that's eventually going to cost you. So still one dock in the north, the Mongol player here. Sneaks more troops on land. More Lancers are in. Even more outposts being dropped as well. Spearmen are here. Not many of them, though. They'll try and hold back, but the Lancers run straight past them. They didn't get rooted. He didn't brace. Big mistake there. Actually could have stopped them from moving past. Lancers won't find the full value they're looking for, though. They actually turn around onto the Spearmen. Wasn't being microed by Cannon at all. Big mistake there. Cannon misses the opportunity to snipe more of the Villies. Batter ram in the meantime. Springald not sniping out the villagers, just small misplays on both sides here. You can just kind of see, even the best players in the world at this game are not perfect, right? Like, that Springald could have sniped 3 villagers in this time. He finally turns around on them now, but missed opportunity. Batter ram just about gets away, though. Needs to repair it and build some new ones. Wraparound coming in. Cannon, he snuck this all the way around the back. 5 of these War Junks One Baochuan. Who would win? I say Baochuan. Seriously, if you engage, you're going to be sunk so quick. Watch this. Leenok. Moving the Baochuan in now. He can't even see it. Cannon doesn't know. He's going to get ambushed by this. Spins it around. Shots coming out. Leenok, come on. There we go. Starts to turn it better. Second rate shots are good. Boom ship coming in, though. Sinks him. Doesn't get the shots out on it. Nicely done by Cannon. However, a second big boy cannon is coming. Baochuan moves in again, and he just can't move away quick enough. The boom ship even coming around the back to ensure the fleet is going to be sunk. And now with the Baochuan advantage still not being capable of being matched by Sleep Cannon, as he's still sitting in castle age. With the boom ships now coming out, and maybe a supporting retinue, this could be where Leenok starts to move in and choke out the game. And yeah, you can see Cannon's getting desperate. He actually invests in racks on the island of his opponent, trying to build the man-at-arms now. Your opponent can do similar, though, the Palace Guard, but the Palace Guard are actually superior, honestly. Just a better unit if you want to go for it. Could even increase the health of the Battle Hardened. We'll see, though. I think this is your final effort to get on the island, though. After this, I expect patrols to just keep you out from Leenok. I think once these Baochuans do come out, we will see a move towards the enemy base. Oh my god, so many boom ships. This is where it's going to go wrong, though. Look at the vision. If Leenok sees this and sneaks across with the explosive ship, you're not going to do anything. Baochuan's engaging. Cannon hasn't realized yet, though. And it looks like he'll move in now. But he's only going to get one of the Baochuan's max, if that. Oh no, 10 health! He can't even sink it. Leenok mismanaging again as he's distracted on land, but he manages to get out of that without losing that heavy investment. And now with two Baochuans here, explosive ship as well, he can just push across. Bombard has been built. Nice idea there. The clock tower allows him to do this very well. And now you can just quickly siege through all of these outposts and get rid of the expansion. At that point, Cannon begins to lose control of this game, as he has no fallback point, right? He has no recovery point. If he gets choked on his island with Baochuans in range, you're never winning this game. So it's really important that he doesn't lose this expansion. However, with only 2 racks spamming out man-at-arms, I don't see how you can stop this from occurring, right? The Bombards just snipe you down. It's 204 damage against 155 health unit. You're going to lose them instantly. Watch. If he chooses to target. Nice. Here we go. Fire. Okay, or just don't fire. Screw it. Come on, guys. I want to see bowling. Man-at-arms bowling. There we go. Nice strike and one. And that is going to spell the end of Cannon's expansion. After that, I just don't like where this is headed now. He's finally teching up, but your opponent's ahead of you. And the problem you now have is you're going to be weak, right? Once you hit Imperial, that's just an alarm bell on Leenok's head. That says go. There we go. This should be where we see Leenok move. He should just gather the Baochuans and move in. Because now your opponent, even if he has the resources to build them, they're going to take a minute to get out. He's building one as we speak, but you're going to need forward one. Leenok's still not moving out. There's not really a great reason behind this either. He should be moving forward with the Baochuans. Use the demo ship to scout and move in right now, because your opponent has nothing. One explosive junk and a war junk. If you give him the breathing room to build a few Baochuans, then you give him a kind of a greeting back into this game, right? A welcome back to my island in 5 minutes' time. Although this time it'll be very hard to get on with the Bombards in place. And that was the other important detail, right? Leenok can start to pick this all dry. He needed a new gold vein, and now he has access to it. 8,000 gold, ready to be picked dry. He needs to sort his wood, though. His wood is weak at this point. You can see he's suffering on that front. That's why we're not seeing even more of these warships right now. But we will soon. Transport ships also coming out. So it looks like he's planning to expand for the wood line on the central islands, but there's not much here, remember. It's more about the gold veins, if anything. It's just straggler trees otherwise. He could also use this to aggressively keep drop. I would love to see him gather some stone and prep for a keep drop on land on his opponent's base. So double warship now out for Cannon. You can tell I got bored of saying Baochuan so often. I've got a feeling someone in the comments is going to correct me and I'm totally wrong, but for now I'll believe. And this is what Leenok should have been doing all along. He understands now. These stealth seas are so powerful. If you just park an explosive junk inside them and your opponent does try to cheese you with the junks, then you just boom the entire ship, right? Like, if he brings in 5 incendiary ships like he did last time, and you just set one of these off, that manual detonation is going to blow up all of them. And he does have explosive tech. Explosive tech that has also been researched now by Cannon. Speaking of cannons, Trying to deal with the lances as they land, and we'll be able to do that. Doesn't even stop mining for a moment. He needs as much gold as possible. His wood's looking healthy now, and Leenok can push out as many of these warships as he chooses. His only limitation at this rate is going to end up being Popcat. Not even giving over any of the bombard clock towers. Clock tower bombards, rather. And even expanding the dock line now. And this is where you have to move cannon. He understands there's been too much time given. The economy has extended for Leenok, and now it gets a little bit dangerous. You can see he's holding on the east side, so he's not in position for this, and it will take him a while to get across. These Bao Schwans only move at 0.86 tiles per second. Boom ships in. Nice hits. But these bombards are too tanky, remember. 50% extra health is enough to keep them alive. They back away, they turn around, and they punish you. And these bombards have too much range, remember. 10 tower range compared to the Bao Schwan's 10. But you have to be able to see them as well. And the more important detail, War Junks down at that measly 7.5. Can't really match. Shots in. Leenok's going to sacrifice them. He is moving the ships across now, and they're coming in force. Look at this. And they're moving quick as well. Look at the speed. Remember, when you try to formation shuffle, your units end up moving faster. He looks like he dragged them separately, though. If he kept them like that, they actually would have gap closed a lot quicker. However, with the boom ships and the Bao Schwan in position, he'll be able to overwhelm cannon quickly here. There we go. Wraps in. He's looking for any extension, any additionals here. He's not going to find them, though. They're not anywhere to be seen. One further back. He can get in position as well. He can see a second one here. Cannon makes a mistake. He's not cycling quick enough here. They're too close, and the manual detonations will take him out. And the docks as well. The value almost sinks it. And that dock is heavily injured. You won't get a new warship out of it in time. Leenok is too close with his own fleet. Sinks one, moves in, looks to finish off the dock. And then you can just wrap down from here. And this game is looking like it is approaching a close. Because with so many warships now, up to 5, and your opponent only has 2, I do not see how cannon can actually bounce back. And there it is. That's the keep we were talking about. Leenok, he stabilizes on the central island. He's even building for control of sacred sites. He realizes he might not be able to take it to the enemy base, so he wants to force his opponent to come out uncomfortably. What he doesn't realize, though, is there's nothing waiting for him in the south. Cannon never recovered his economy. He never scaled it to a point where it felt good enough. And we're seeing the result of that right now, as he has a measly 3 Bao Schwans to the, how many? 8? Yeah, 8 Bao Schwans on the side of Leenok. Good lord. This is about to be the Pirates of the Caribbean moment. Watch your ship just go up in splinters and flames. One already down. Second one soon to fall. And he calls it. That's enough to convince him. He sees when he's pinched on both sides. No retreat point for such a slow-moving ship. Nowhere left to run. He will give it over. Leenok will rule supreme on Warring Islands. Yeah, honestly, really cool to just see how powerful the Bao Schwans can be. I think they are so much better than the Carracks still. Like, the Carracks, I'm trying to think what the damage difference was. First up, for those wondering, the Carracks that most other civs have as their Imperial Age units, they only have 140 health. 140, sorry. 1,400 health compared to 2,000. That's 600 less. That's a huge dent in your effective HP. On top of that, the way it works is that they have 3 on each side, 3 cannons on each side, shooting for 70 damage. And then if I compare that to the Bao Schwans in Age of Empires 4, just to give you specific numbers, I don't want to feed you lies. I know it's higher. Yeah, so it's 7 cannons on each side shooting 70. 7 compared to 3. And the cost difference is 390 wood, 270 gold for Carracks. Meanwhile, 480 wood and 480 gold for Bao Schwans. But I would happily pay that, especially considering they're the same production time at a whole minute. This is the power of China and Mongols. If you go into the Imperial Age and you're talking about war maps, I don't feel like anyone can test them right now. They're just ridiculously potent. Even the HRE. HRE is probably like one that can handle it somewhat, mainly because they get infinite gold if they pick up their relics, right? So they scale a bit better. But they're not looking for that ultra-late Imperial Age. If you're draining the map, that can be a dangerous game to play, especially against China, who can actually extend to more TCs, and then they can boom their villager count to make those risky eco pockets. So overall, I think as the meta continues to shift, we're going to see a dominance on Warring Islands, Archipelago, these type of maps by the Chinese, and we're already seeing it by the Mongols. It's just so incredibly powerful, especially when you equate that extra production rate of a 20% increase into China. You're starting to realize that they're naval power, right? They're eco power, and now they're in naval power. Before that, they were spring-all spammers, but now they're happy to be on the seas. Really well played by Leenok, though. Great to see him feature on the channel again. It has been a while. And if you want to see more of him, be sure to go check the videos. There's plenty of footage from him, especially in his early days of Age of Empires. Especially definitely would advise the one where he goes up against Aigaz on Confluence in an HRE and China matchup. That one would be quite the tasty meal to sink your teeth into and gain some juicy knowledge on both China and HRE and how they could function. But that's going to be it for this video. Make sure you check the others. Make sure you hang around the channel because we appreciate your support. And with over 150 videos already uploaded on the YouTube channel of Age of Empires content specifically, there's plenty for you to get your lips around.